Okay, now that you've got your fidget spinner kind of done, I actually decided I don't like this quite so rounded, so I'm going to come back up and double click on my fillets here, and I'm going to change it from 2 millimeters to 1 millimeter. That makes that fillet slightly less on these inner parts, and then I'm going to double click on this fillet as well and change that's the top fillet to 1 as well, and there you go, that feels a bit more robust to me. Now I'm going to create a shape on the top here. So first, start a 2D sketch. And put it on the top. Okay, now I want to take and use these circles that have previously been drawn. So I'm going to project the geometry of the previous circle onto this sketch by now clicking on that circle and clicking on that circle. Next, I want to offset this circle by clicking the offset button, come over to this circle and just come out and tap in 2 before you click again, and that's now drawn a kind of offset. That's as close as I want to get to that circle with cutting some things out. So I've drawn that now, and then next I want to draw myself a circle here, but before we do that I want you to click on the line tool and come up and click on this button here called construction. Now from the center of this circle, click once and come over and draw a line to the center of this circle. That's now drawn what you can see a dotted line. It's still drawing lines, so I'm going to press the escape tool to get out of a tool, and you'll see a dotted line there, which is helpful as a marker line, which you'll see in why we want that in a minute. Importantly, you must undo this construction button before we go any further. That's now undone, and we can come now and click on our circle tool. I want to draw a circle here from the center. Now let's say I just accidentally miss this line and click it here. You'll see how to fix that in a minute. I'm going to come out and I'm going to set that to 22 millimeters. Now I drew my circle. Here's the center of the original circle. I want you to come out this way. We're going to offset that circle a little bit. So now I've come out a little bit, and we want to kind of put that circle onto that line because we missed it. So I'm going to use this coincident constraint here, and we're going to, with that highlighted, click on that central circle and then click on this line. That's shoved the circle onto that line. I'm now going to come up and dimension between the center of that circle and the center of the original bearing circle and click that onto about 3 millimeters. Now that isn't quite enough of a scoop there for me, so I'm going to bring that up to maybe the same diameter of this circle here, which was 22 plus another 2. So double click on that one. Oh, let's click the line. Can you see how it's clicked the line? So escape, and let's go in, zoom in and double click on that. There we go. Let's go to 24 and see how that looks. That feels quite nice to me. Now, so we've got ourselves a kind of like a crescent moon shape. I'm now going to come up and click on my line tool, and now let's have a little look. From the center of the bearing circle, not the one we've just drawn, but the bearing circle here, we're going to click on that line, and we're going to come up and hover over here. Now, it's quite hard to get onto this line because it keeps snapping onto here, so just come up far enough so that you can click on that line there, and do the same thing from the center of a bearing circle to the outside of the most furthest along kind of circle, and click 2 lines. Now you can, let's come off of there. Now you can click on the dimension button, click on this line. It thinks you want to dimension it until you click on the central line as well, and it realizes you're doing angles, and you can come out here and click out here once, and let's put that at 4. Do the same with this line. Click once on this line with that dimension tool highlighted, and then click on the central line, and then come back out to here and click once and click on 4. That's now given me a kind of the right angle that I want to be working with. And you can now see that's why we drew that line. Originally, it's a marker line. Okay, now I'm going to come up and circular pattern those 2 lines. So circular pattern tool, for geometry highlighted, click on that line, come up to the axis, click on the bearing circle, change it to 8. Change the direction. It's going up at the moment. I've clicked the bottom line, so I want it to be going down. So I'm going to change this button, the direction, by clicking on this button. That's now, as you can see, it's going down. And I'm going to change the angle not to 360, but to just 60. Okay, now you can see I've got all those lines coming down like that. I'm going to click OK. I want to do the same thing going the other way. So I'm going to click once again on the circular pattern tool. I'm going to select this top line this time, like that. And then I'm going to click on the axis button, select this bearing line. It does appear to be going the right direction this time, going up. I'm going to change that to 8 lines, and I'm going to change the angle to 60. Okay, there we go. It's now drawn that nicely for me. You can see that kind of shape. Now I want to cut out some of these shapes here. Okay, so I'm going to finish my sketch now and see if I can cut out some of those shapes. So we're going to go to the extrude button. You already know what to do on this extrude button. So let's have a look at what we can do. You can see this is why I have this shape here. Around the central. I didn't click onto the central line, but here we go. So I'm going to click that shape first. Is adding material at the moment, which we're eventually going to cut away. So you might have to kind of rotate this around. Now you can see I don't want that one. I want every other. That's what I'm going for here. That feels pretty good to me. So let's come around this side and do exactly the same thing on this side. Click on this shape, click on this shape, click on this shape. That feels good. Okay. Okay, so now I can press this cut button and it's already the thickness it's doing is the bearing thickness. And so I'm going to now click OK, and that's given myself a kind of a nice shape. And you can play around with the different settings on there. Once again, use the circular tool to highlight the feature, which was extrusion free, and then the rotational axis button to select this part here, change that to 3, and there you have that part which goes around all 3 areas.